status. Tinipana or defend no or no one share or finish. And these are some of the most intelligent things when you're talking to people you pick out. Now, KKD actually asked Paul Adom Otchere a simple question indirectly. When he was given the opportunity to speak, when Paul Adom Otchere came out to insult him, KKD being matured, he knows the mic and he knows what the mic can do. I know what this mic can do. I know what I can do with this mic. I can use this mic, make me mic with my and I know what I can do, and I know how I can send the message. So, being an experienced speaker, journalist, somebody who is used to the mic, he knows what the cameras can do and what the cameras can do. KKD did not come sit on TV to say, Paul, Ofa gay. He will never do that. It will make him low. So, what KKD can do to expose Paul is simple. The way he answered the question and said, you came to my event. And do you remember I saved a seat for you and your woman? He, at the point when you're smarter, you don't know what KKD is doing. KKD is playing the other side of Paul. And KKD is entering Paul's matrimonial home. So it's very important. Now, Samina KKD cast asked me home. Oh, Kevin Taylor came to my home, my event, and I reserved a seat for him and his girlfriend. If I am to answer that question and I know the person I came to that event with is not my girlfriend, I'll go straight and say, KKD, you got it wrong. The lady I came with is called Lucy. She is the wife of Mr. Nkobia. They live in Patase, so there's nothing like that. You go ahead and clean the mess. Unless you are guilty of what KKD is saying, unless you brought a woman behind your wife, you always say, married man Adom Otchere replies KKD over disrespectful claim about his alleged concubine. Now, Paul Adom Otchere, in responding to this, was telling KKD that KKD is disrespecting woman or woman because of his allegation. Now, the question is, Paul Adom Otchere, did you go to that event with a woman who is your concubine? It's a simple answer. So, Paul also, with Gyimi on the level of intelligence and Drew KKD, on Drew Hose, on Drew Ho. And there are other ways to go by this. It's simple. It clearly shows that Paul Adom Otchere came with another woman who isn't his wife. That is why you see Paul fooling himself. He can't go directly. Now he wants women's sympathy. What did KKD say that it's against women here? What did KKD say that it's against women? There's nothing that KKD said that's against the woman. Some women are concubines, some are mistresses, some are married women. So you need to classify or correct the issue and say, KKD, I am Mr. Paul Adom Otchere. My wife is Mrs. Paul Adom Otchere. The woman I came with is called Lucia Mwako. She is the wife of this. She represented this. So if you care to know, let me go pull that tape out because the event, there were cameras there, and let the world know Obana and then buy no. And then your friend Bema would name Nyansa Kwasia Paul. Now say KKD has spoken against women. KKD Odiobabiatem. KKD did you Obabiatem. KKD Busa was simple. It wasn't even a question. It was a passing comment because we're matured. He knows what he's doing. If between you and KKD, if I want to pick somebody to be my communications minister, I'll pick KKD because only what to do. So foolishly, instead of you to be smart, you also played. Right now, we all know that you went with a woman. You could not defend the fact to say she's not your girlfriend. What has women got to do with this? What has disrespecting of women has got to do with this? Paul Adom Otchere Gyimi for where Gyimi, why didn't him quit? Time I mature my law school admission test. Now we need law school. Now we copy. We go to go video edges kasi amount school fees. Where Gyimi? We will pull that tape out and we show the world the woman. Tell me, Paul. We will pull that tape out and we will show the world the woman who isn't your wife, who is your concubine. You could not say, this woman was a professional partner who represented this. Her name is Asimesi. You can verify. Because you are a man nobody can trust. You sleep with men and sleep with women at the same time. That's why you sleep in different rooms in your house. So KKD is a good communicator. And he needs smart journalists to interview him. KKD, I can handle him. KK, I wouldn't say your boy, but me a hard guy. KK also a hard guy. You see about the rough. But it's very important. Paul Adom Otchere actually went with a girlfriend, which is not a crime. Which is not. Because you are an old man. You know your responsibilities. And the way your responsibility, the probability of you losing your marriage, you know the consequences in that decision. You made your personal decision. So for you to come on TV to bring women into this, no woman has time for your foolishness, Paul. You have said worse things against women than this. KKD never insulted a woman. He said you came with a concubine. Prove to us that woman is not a concubine. We are going to pull the tape out, pull a picture of the woman out for the world to know this is the woman.
You are watching Juicy
What you say,
News on
Gyimi
YouTube.
Paul? What say, Gyimi? Your level of intelligence is very low. We are low voltage. Very, very stupid. Mia, the way I'll answer this question, KKD will not. But wait, Gyimi, you think, as usual, you want women's sympathy. Or Babi Onimnyansebia will say you're a foolish man. You could not defend yourself and defend the woman you came with. Because if you are a man who is responsible, defend that woman. Let the world know that this woman is an independent woman. She's not my girlfriend. You know that's her name. She came because of this. You don't sit there and say he is disrespecting women. Are you foolish? Papana Samdebayan, did you say they are disrespecting women? You have foolishly sat there and brought people to interview. Because of what? You were licking the butt of a dead man who is walking 88 years. Enche. Defend yourself intelligently. You are a fool, Paul. Let's move on. KKD. KKD said, I did not criticize Ken Ofori-Atta. I criticized the finance ministry. Hey. Where statement was I did not criticize Ofori-Atta. I criticized the finance minister. KK is on repreku. No one can say one day on preku nkwan. Me say edro bechi obia edrolization ebechi obia kakra edro. Enti they say dada KKD akasem momientie de KKD kan here is very, very important.
Why have you not spoken about all of these matters? Like a lot of people are sending in messages.
It is not my job.
KKD, why haven't you been speaking about these issues up until now? You could actually affect what is happening.
Have you asked your question already, or you want to continue?
Why haven't you spoken to him?
Because when you give people a job, you've got to give them time. You don't change a player in the first 15 minutes of the Champions League unless they are badly injured. You need to give them time. And usually that time is a whole first term.
It's been almost 6 years.
That time is a whole first term, right? So looking back now, I think Ghanaians were unfair to John Mahama because he didn't speak much.
This is communication. My answer to us, Uncle KKD, when your friend, he's playing on your mind. The question was a simple question. KKD avoided the question. And let me tell you, communication. And communication is vital. KKD was playing with a lot of people's minds. KKD did not want to address the issue. We are not in Akufo-Addo's first term. We are in Akufo-Addo's second term, first half. You get what I mean? We are not in Akufo-Addo's first term or first half. We are in Akufo-Addo's second half, 45 minutes. Who divided? We have second half, 20 minutes. You have 25 and off. The guy was insisting, why didn't you speak? It's been 6 years. It's a simple question. I didn't speak because of, but before that he said, it is not my job. But because he wanted you to get confused, for you not to hold him accountable for one way or another, moving away from the substantive question, he said, we have not been fair to John Mahama. He moves everybody's mind to that soft spot. Because what has John Mahama's regime got to do with why didn't you speak for 6 years? And this is how they work. And I respect this guy so much because he's very smart when it comes to communication. Because he knew at that point, people were like, but then he'll be like, okay, that is what he did. He moved you from A to C because now the issue is, why didn't you speak? I don't want you people to think I'm a hypocrite. I don't want you people to think that I supported this government. So I'm not going to give an answer, but I'm going to play to the gallery because now everybody knows the best alternative is John Mahama. So why don't I move the mind to, because it's got nothing to do with John Mahama, Ghanaians being Ghanaians not being nice to John Mahama, or Ghanaians not being fair. We all know Ghana has not been fair. They've never been fair. We have never been fair. We have never been fair to John Mahama compared to these things or these guys. But why was he struggling to say this? We are talking about first term. We have passed first term. That is 4 years. It is not just 5 years. It is the 6th year. You are telling me about the Champions League game. The analogy does not make sense. Communication is vital. And you see, as much as I respect KKD, I respect him with all due respect. In the media circle, he has achieved something I haven't achieved. When it comes to ethics about a job, he proved it when he was in his limelight. So I'll give everything to him. But at this point, KKD is playing smart. From the beginning, I told you, KKD might have personal issues with people, but he wanted to add the national issue to his problems for people to think he's selling a bigger problem. No, KKD is looking at a very tiny thing. And that tiny thing is he wants to settle scores with people in this government because they have disappointed him. It could be business. It could be something he's losing. It could be something that he was expecting he didn't get. I don't know. But KKD basically is playing with the minds of the people. He knows he's an intelligent guy. He knows these people have failed. But he would never push them in the pit. He would never do that. So he singles out one person and all his conversation goes direct to the finance minister. But somebody employed the finance minister, but he trusts the person who appointed as finance minister. So this conversation and these kind of things, sometimes I tell you Ghanaians, me say, I don't have a problem when you have personal issues with people, but don't bring the national issues into it. From the first day he granted that interview, the first day I called GTV, I listened to him very well. I looked at his body language, the way he projected his message. I knew KKD wasn't talking about a national issue. KKD is thinking of taking an individual down. And literally, he's trying to make people know this person is evil. That's all that he's doing. But it's so difficult to single such person out and not to include the national issue and include the government as a whole. That is why every single time, it's like what Kobrado Ford did the last time when he was interviewed on Ghana's economy. He could not blame the finance minister. He could not blame the government, but he was blaming we, the Ghanaians, telling us what we can do, but who is in charge? So, Uncle, it's very important. And to be very fair with you, all your interviews you've granted, you've shown that lyrically, intertwining, you are very good. Literature, you're good. English, you're good. You can confuse a journalist. And because you're a journalist yourself, I know how to reverse a question to a journalist for him to get confused, to run around the question. I get it. We are all in the same profession. But I believe that if you want people to believe you more and take you seriously, that you are really speaking against the system for the system to change and not picking some particular thing to fight, then make your statement more clearer. Because as I sit here, some of your statements are very clear, some aren't. So they are intertwining. We really don't, at this point, what are you driving at? What are you driving at? No, I just want to ask Uncle Gege. So, net crack is saying, Yan Tuntia MPP. And I yan Tuntia, Yan Kanchak, Yamagana Fontia, say, Kufa, the Crom for now, by Yan Tuntia, Ubi Obabi. So that is the basis. The crack is saying, summary, no, and a summarize and a Nina is saying. Because the person who no crack. Now, crack in saying, we know you are not attacking Ufurata as a person. You are attacking the ministry. We get it. I respect you for that. But the crack is saying, because I've seen you speak, but you have not come to any conclusion what all the ranting is about. Tell me what to do as a normal Ghanaian on the street. We need people like you with voices to speak. That is what the people are asking. Tell us what to do. Because some of you people told us what to do then. Now we are all in the same ship. We are about to die. You have experience. You have handled the mic before. You know the inside from the outside. Tell us, the ones in the ship who have no idea how even a ship docks. Tell us what to do. The crack is saying, what is the end game? Okay, I love you, no homo. You're a nice guy. But the crack is saying, Pachonya another platformer. Can the crack Yenya deng. Can of Furata and you're not attacking. I respect that. The ministry. Ekufuado, Inkofobi Aban. Yenya ne crack dien. We have not been fair to Mahama. We all know. A 12-year-old kid knows. From what Mahama was doing and what these fools are doing, we all know there's a big difference. Into the crack in summary, Yenya deng. Yentuntia MPP and I say Yenya deng. Now see. Men's Gold customers request info on sold #1 asset. Yes, Men's Gold customers nibi. Atro Akoma RTI. Right to information bill say. Imbrebi Abai Kachere Ghana for said #1's properties have been sold and people will be compensated from that. Niatia. And I'm gonna say Abai Nisa wa tontom #1 nibi. Mwa mo bon sami on nam Ghana but am ni Kennedy Japo kachem so oni baby $20 million da. Ye Gyimi o. Ontuminya le kuro bukwan, ontuminya nsuo, ontuminya hospital. 28 years, aboy so be the president, mudi nechi kwasiafo. Okache o TV so onim bebi a $20 million da, onko famrai. Me se on chain me so esi no ni die wie, on chain me. Enti #1, yes eye customers ni bi. Say omo person ko RTI for ko busa say MPP abaya Ekufuado de ni man adam for #1 no ka say almost season #1 properties bi no almost town their compensate customers no sika no we he me catch them from day one #1 ne MPP aban we ni Ekufuado ana fa musika di ye ntia na ye nyina fight say #1 gisike bo Dubai ye nyina ye tia. I fought so hard because I knew that money would save lives. Now when you say Sasika no ebedru Ghana you are buying bi omunim nyansa do confiscate the money and say uni bibi where we in case udi scanaba yaje ye ba be chama customers no. That was why we are here every day. I was doing #1 issue monfanemra. I read this to you, I break it down. Now we will hope say Sasika no obedru Ghana hitting accounts yet Ghana will block it and say this money will go to your customers. Yatia Sasika ne buy na say amba money akromfo we na edili ye catch them oh you Amanda Clinton. Amanda Clinton will go and fight for us but hey Amanda Clinton and mo carry no on na go fight am why dey Amanda Clinton do a lawyer o me sure no gusi miti papa mo Gyimi o ma no mutiem na nei yesika o we ya na ye papa no omo wen ha ya soto o nyina emmo wano mo na mo kire mo so afi mate na nei ye di yesiko we ye papa tie ye the more I shout no now we make attention no abro na sort of call now why don't you this ade points money na mo asike points money ya che die wie didi na wo tie mo man ba nyina adwene ka tell akura adwene ba so jeje wo de say some dey 70,000 Ghana na matena breche jeje kokokoko and na what you mo ngabiem mo kwa kope den mo kwa kope na mo kora mo ko hu ade na meye mo ko ne ya chiroma mo ne ya kasa an ya ton ye na sika no ya che wo be kan de ye ntia na mo anka so obestart ya che musika amamo what is aban push ye were we not here when #1 came out with a long statement and kwasia statement we said he is going to start paying and that the list and the DND and the one year tuanika because the government through Yoko through the CID and the court can just say do this. Because when you do this and we go to court, the prosecutor, that is the attorney general, will tell the court, so #1 is taking steps. He is taking steps to pay. It is in the pipeline. He is looking at the possibility of ensuring that the customers have been rewarded or paid. #1 is in the process of recovering his assets and selling to pay off the customers. We are still considering the needed action to make sure #1's preparation to pay the customers is very, very in line with the court's procedure. The court, #1, is looking exclusively in the future. Basaa, present, future, participle, and the Mo Gyimi, brofo ni ade dada mo. Brofilization. Where do you brofo? Wait, do can you answer? One way di hit pen wabo. Tom Brank kebino wenye di, and was a shoe fubi. What do you mistake? Yedi edi MPP 2080 and another when you want to man or hair. No esteem or wasn't go for your moi. Eko for the when you or Nakuma to a party with DH 2007. Nan Compeso D and Uncle Fueta and Uncle for 2008 and I'm did in the chair about 2012 and Obuno. Message your baby and Uncle for the 2016. I mean, I don't know. And Ni tise motorcycle no to. Oka panyang po ori mu di shooting say. And aka sa pian. Sa busum we na mokotam na na de wanyini de wodowa Ghana na na wodoma Ghana. Woni mi wi dodo a wano begu ni yem. Ma serious and your friend MSU. Ma serious MSS and MSS. Obutoka ro chire gu chire kumasfo. Kevin Taylor say MSS was serious WSS no. I nana de na glow for so de chire we break, we possess our possessions. It is Isaac no nyame no covenant. I Muhammad de Nyankopon ne covenant. Ibrahim Mahama imaone ne de tafo di Nyankopon na me ko hu Mahama. I oyatani eye aglo Christopher nyame. Isaac ba na one ne covenant. Isaac ba tie jewe odum wi sa abo bi. Isaac ba na one ne covenant. Isaac ba me se mununkum e fa Ghana so mo am wa wiase ka kro hu adwen bone mo a journalist ye tua mo ka se mo be me se omo boro mo bom nsa no epa na nanyini wanum wi na wa aggressive wa bread ho ase krama bras hu bras e nkofu na da ya samwa ni content se de otwa ntabo e wo aboabo de nyame na afrao kwasiafo no gugu stage eye Samaria no hontomago se bolega confirm a ofri Egypt aba na mo egu stage ai onyame na afrao eradie bo wa kukudro onyame beye Isaac ba de no covenant Isaac ba odi triwi o mo Isaac odi triwi ai lele lalabas moi modi ato ene Charlotte say de onyebi ai na Charlotte say ona ka say na honya fe on ne waka sa na honya fe mo amode ato beji position the whole world UN say Charlotte say bra Afghanistan mo din no ko election so the whole world emamwa mo Independence Square at bottom power kwaje no on ne ka sa nyame mbo na ho fe oh nice inti emu ya osua de or certification no wa kire mo say na adwene ye adwuma no mo gu Independence Square say da ko farm so nkokọ omu Independence Square da ko farm so nkokọ omu na ho futuro ena bia yi omu tuma no mu emu kankan ena onyame Isaac ba na no covenant tedi ne ba de oni Bible mu ni covenant Isaac ba Israel ena no covenant Isaac ba no ko hwe labadi wa num wi ya de sinyina hye odi president ko dutu ne se no Isaac ba ena murunkuma a free north eba south abe destroy nipa onyankopon Jesus lelelabas chegu anche sesrimfo no entafo no omo de bone ba Ghana sa santimem na Ghana chem ya bomba ye wo Yesu Kristo dim God lelelabas korabasa omo tumika korabasa nyina wom o tonsin korabasa dey me hikura na nye afeji dazi beifo no ne alongside Lord Kenya for no go chire no ai sa omo feature omo no ai ai omo kan kwa samna ya bomba Isaac ba and na no cover ai sa abeifo no sa featuring Lord Kenya featuring Kokoveli for no sa go for no go chire no omo Gyimi rough Isaac ba na neti hayo and Isaac ba oni Elizabeth ba akamutira mo omo wi musike nyina udi na kufu adudi a we Gyimi for oso kwada kurabem udi kufu adudi nde ene fa ti kwasha kurabem kurabalization. Let's move on. We ja ni bu afuafuafua boy de onye Kristo de yawo me Anglican mu me Anglican ni ba pure ko bi sam jonam na kwa so ba ko St. Paul's Anglican Diocese ye buade papa ba penyin na Gyimi be ka kire Anglican antoboase wuduru a ho na be bia wa fosters no e ho na kwa asore ai time na ye ho na to war no enye se na na start here ye papa mu nyina di chairman da ye Kristo for ma na we Kristo ni na wa Gyimi ayo so e ka kire so wa Gyimi ai enti unye Kristo ni ncheme ya wo Kristo mu ncheme ye ni nyina ya ma service da wo me say unim Father Richmond in cancer na no ai nam na wa Queen's International School near your Anglican ma ye da ho ya Anglican ba na no Mr. Father Richmond in cancer. God has made you a big man. His favor has been on you. You are one of the best truthful fathers Anglican has produced. Father Richmond in cancer. No, Nana from. So it is very, very important. Say yetiha yebeka no kure no unye Christo din chamio. Fa u Gyimi ko pen tuma bi mu hye. Yanko enim. Alongside Coco, alongside Tiny. Are you ready? This is a remix from KK. Aqua with. This is a remix from KK alongside Coco. Alongside Tiny. Whoa, are you ready? This is a remix from KK alongside Coco. Alongside Tiny. Are you ready? Wanna banye? Watch me order. Me say ondo yedo. I'm finna no time so media no pen. I come here meet me hard. OG. Way yo, break it down. Way yo. This is a remix from KK alongside Coco. Alongside Tiny. Are you ready? Wanna benye? Watch me order. We are waiting. Yeah. You're hitting the num. We don't need the call. You need bibia. You did draw. If you are now, say, yeah, can continue. Finance Ministry urged to expedite action on salaries of unpaid pharmacists, house officers. Me say, first one started here, or say we will pay contractors. Eku for the bosom nankasa na kan ye. Ya saba, ya say pharmaceutical services for say almost say yentua omoka. Ekurate yentua obi aka wona ba omi ansam ya nkwasiafo mu ntua taxes. Inti mo aban ni. Mo aban. Eku for say we will pay contractors. We will. It is in the pipeline. We are thinking. We are making sure the process will work. We are considering. Talks are on the way. Nina a future tenses. Odia unikapre. And the pharmaceutical service for Swaba Bontin say, a finance ministry, Tracy Kama and yes, good for Swaba Bontin say, ye quack to stop Biamu because Capre ho. Yatia, and a yet nurse for your trade must say, fire swear Juma. Yatia is here, Simunina Gyimi, a free SHS for your food Juma. Yet it's kind of quakutia free SHS for Mama doctors. Hey, you Gyimi free SHS for your muntu people mutui. Omu no mukako patients. And I'm to say a PR no YE, you know. I better TV is not tough friend or not. No head left, no head right. When you say girls, you know, we had Gyimi. What a guy in your position, what a friend or not. Ice boy, what Gyimi amano cry. I better TV so. And I'll tell the camu, and I'll blare back, no, and I'll tough friend. The YEA, we know these young people from the free SHS graduates, we are going to, there's no harm in giving them, telling them, give me a knife, give me a paper, give me a record. Only say for sir. Obiye Gyimi wa ban we mu. Obiye Gyimi wa ban we mu. Inti atia sisi ye ntia we muka ebere ne tua 111 ka masa it's about time edian it's about time Sri Lanka it's about time ya twema 2024 do ye Gyimi obokum samwa my mo your friend how kumsen